welcome back, everybody, to Roll
with the Troll.
Hey, listen, today we're talking about the psychology of one Mike Barnes. Are you familiar with Mike Barnes, Voice of Reason?
Michael, as he's also known.
Is he known as Michael? I didn't know that. Today we're going to be talking about Mike's psychology. Like, why is he like this? What's his fucking problem? In 85, the guy acted like a prick. Now, I got to tell you straight up, okay? We've got a lot of our own ideas, but I did do some research. I recently read the book, I'm What He's Talking About, Shithead, The Story of Mike Barnes. Have you read that book as well?
No, I missed
In preparation?
that one.
Okay, well, in preparation for this video. Probably not. No, it's in my head. But yeah, so I studied that, trying to understand the psychology of Mike Barnes and what he's all about.
Okay, excellent.
So let me get started with this question, okay? What would you say is the number one thing about Mike? What's the one defining attribute about Mike Barnes to you?
Mike Barnes can't stand to lose.
Can't stand to lose. Well, man can't stand, he can't fight. So you're saying, so he will not tolerate failure at any cost.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I see
He's
that.
very driven. Look at that face. Look at the intensity.
Oh, and my green skin and the red pen and everything. Yeah, a lot of intensity. It's true. In the thumbnail here, I'll tell you what in the book, one of his big quotes is Mike says, "The world shows no mercy, so why should we? Some people have it good, but the rest of us, we have to fight for every fucking inch.
I think
not just to score a point."
Yeah, but that was TORY. That was TORY.
But it fits him too. It sounds like a Mike Barnes kind of thing. Doesn't that sound like a Mike Barnes thing?
Yeah.
It would allude to his psychology. Hey, maybe the rumors are true. Maybe TORY came about from Mike Barnes impregnating some woman who was probably TORY's mom.
Probably.
You know, so maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe he passed that along to her, and she didn't really come up with that quote on her own. Maybe she read Mike's book.
Yeah.
Do you think Mike bareballs it?
What? What are you talking about?
I would imagine. I don't imagine he wants to wear a condom, because think about it. He doesn't really prepare.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Mike just goes in raw in life, and I think
you have a real fixation about
life is a metaphor
certain things
for what happened. So I think that's why
I've never considered that, and nor do I care.
Okay. So, all right, move on.
What makes me tick is what makes him a bully to begin with. Were Alan and Monica too hard on him?
Oh, you're conflating his character with the character from General Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those weren't his parents in this.
Okay.
And in Karate Kid, we don't even know.
So we don't know who his parents are in Karate Kid. But what makes him a bully? Did it come from the original family unit?
Maybe he didn't even have a family unit.
Oh.
You know? Maybe
that's even worse.
Well, I mean, think about it. He's 17 years old. Yeah. If he had a family, would they have let him fly to LA to go stay with a millionaire and not even be there? I mean, they couldn't have just been around for the whole thing.
Nobody said it had to be a functional family.
I just think it's funny that no parent or guardian or anybody felt the need to just come along with him.
Yeah, he was very independent for being in the under 18 tournament.
Not an older brother, nobody. Yeah, they're like, all right, go stay with a millionaire.
He had henchmen.
Yeah,
at 17.
Well, he didn't have henchmen. Terry Silver had henchmen, and he gave the henchmen to
Oh,
Mike.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Mike didn't have his own henchmen.
Oh, I thought they came with him.
No, for the love of God, you got his parents confused, you got everything. No, Mike showed up and immediately during the business meeting was assigned henchmen.
Okay.
You know, like Skeletor. Remember how Skeletor had a lot of henchmen?
Sure.
Like Beastman and all that shit. Yeah, same kind of thing. Just Mike Barnes. We could compare Mike Barnes' psychology to Skeletor in another video, actually. Yeah. But yeah, so no, but I think it's interesting that his parents, if he had parents, did not bother to be involved in any of this. They weren't at the tournament. They didn't give a shit that he was.
So at best he was neglected.
Yeah.
At worst he might have been abused.
Well, probably, because I would say the guy has to have inner demons, right? Like serious inner demons, more so than most.
So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I say that because he seems to have to know the pain of losing to be putting this much energy into winning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you want to win, but then again you could accept a loss, you don't really you don't fight this, with this kind of ferocity.
I remember in the original movies, that was not the generation that got participation trophies for every dang thing. So, if you lost, you lost.
Yeah, that's how it was. And Mike really understands that. That's why guys like Mike are probably not going to come along too much these days, like with Gen Z and shit. they've got a different kind of attitude about winning, losing, togetherness, people, society, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mike is his own guy. He's on an island on his own,
Mm-hmm.
and he cares about making money. He understands that. He cares, and part of making money is, of course, about like your own self sustaining right into the future, and
Mm-hmm.
keeping yourself going. Um, so Mike's really in touch with his need for self-preservation, but
Yeah.
he is not in touch with any empathy or
No.
giving a fuck about anybody else at all.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't have any remorse. He didn't have any hesitation when it came to hitting a girl. So, and just, you have to wonder, is he going to be as sociopathic as Silver?
Yeah, that's a good question as to which is. We should do moral superiority. Do one of
Oh,
our videos between those two.
yeah.
We tried Kreese versus Silver. That didn't go well.
Maybe we do that after the next season so we can see how they interact with each other.
Oh, you have a theory that he's coming to Cobra Kai.
For sure.
Honestly, I know Mike Barnes is a Karate Kid guy. I don't think of it as
Please, Sean
Cobra Kai.
Kanan be in the next
Yeah,
series.
yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I think he's learned to not give a damn about his enemies at all. I think his
Yeah.
enemies, their friends, their girlfriends, anybody, they don't even mean a damn thing to Mike Barnes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He is completely fixated on winning,
Mm-hmm.
making money, advancing himself, going to bed with a smile on his face. That's it. Doesn't care who gets in the way of that and what he has to do to them.
Yep.
Pretty interesting for 17.
Well, yeah, pretty. Well, who knows what happened after 17? That's what I'm curious about.
Now, one thing he's learned, and this is actually a really good lesson, I
Mm-hmm.
think, is he's learned that in negotiation, the stronger party is the party that's willing to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is,
He sure was willing.
it's a really interesting thing too. I've been in a lot of negotiations over the years, and I always think it's interesting when one party makes clear that they can't walk away no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
They always look really weak, like I was in a business meeting long ago, and this woman's like, I just said, okay, this doesn't look like it's going to work out, so I guess let's just wrap up here. And she was furious. She's like, no, now we need to sit here. We need to work on this and come up with something. And I just thought, wow, she's desperate for this business deal to work out.
Uh-huh.
Mike's not like that at all.
Mm-mm.
Mike gets 20 seconds in when he's straight off the plane.
Yeah.
Mike's ready to go take another plane immediately after landing. Is okay, well, I want 50%, so fuck you. And like, if I'm Terry
Nerves of
Silver,
steel, that guy.
yeah, that's pretty, for a 17-year-old dealing with
Right?
a real businessman, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, a millionaire businessman in a bathtub.
War veteran too, on top of it
Yeah.
all, who watched his buddies die in the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a bathtub. and Mike's just like, okay, I'll see, I gotta go. And like, and look, Terry Silver knew he could have called that bluff. Mike wasn't really gonna fly home because he didn't get 50% in the fucking dojos. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Right? But that's the Mike is so blatantly about fighting until the bitter end
Mm-hmm.
that he'll be completely illogical. He doesn't care. He knows Terry Silver knows that a kid, of course, the kid would take 25% in the dojos. In fact, Terry increased it to 35%. Remember that?
Right, yeah.
Terry's like, well, I can't go higher than 35%. Now, Terry knows that Mike Barnes, in his heart of hearts, would just go, cool, 35%, well worth it. I'm 17. And instead, Mike pulls this shit about, okay, well, I'm sorry I've wasted your time. I got to go. Fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Ballsy move.
it was pretty ballsy, and Terry gave it to him because he wanted a champion and he wanted to encourage that kind of killer instinct, right?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty wild.
So I'm always interested in how did someone become who and what they are. So I kind of keep trying to figure out like what was his childhood like, because he didn't have any remorse or anything about hitting people and hitting a girl that he didn't even know, things like that. So when people are like that, you have to wonder like what kind of signs were missed when they were younger. Like, did he start by abusing animals when he was a kid?
Yeah, that's the new prequel. Mike, they're doing a prequel, Young Mike Barnes,
God,
where
yeah.
he throws a gerbil out the window of a high-rise apartment.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah, we're gonna see that whole story and
Yeah.
unfold.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you wonder.
Yeah, well, do you think maybe his dad, like, maybe like beat the shit out of him a few
Yeah,
times?
I
Or
do.
maybe his mom kicked him in the pelvis once, so now he kicks women in the pelvis whenever he sees women.
Oh, wow.
Like there's only one girl in the movie. I mean, that would make
Yeah.
sense. He did it 100% of the time that he
Yeah.
saw a woman.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say, too, that I don't think his mom could have been any picnic if he has, no remorse about hitting a girl.
You know what I imagine? I imagine he had no mom, and his dad was like a fighter of some
Oh,
sort.
okay. Maybe.
And so he doesn't really like connect. See, you got to wonder what the creators are going to do with all this, because
Yeah.
everything we just talked about, they're probably in some agreement with.
Uh-huh.
I've made up the thing about the gerbil, but I would imagine the creators are thinking like, what backstory do we? Because they're going to give him a backstory. They're not going to let him be two dimensional like in Karate Kid Part 3.
Yeah.
Just like with Terry and with Kreese and everybody else, they've got to give him a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to want one character to get away on Cobra Kai without a backstory.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're really invested in making every character more well-rounded, even if the backstory is negative, but you get a little bit more in depth into their character and their background.
Yeah, Cobra Kai season 5 is going to be really interesting to see what they do with him. Like, I wonder if he's going to get flashbacks the way we've seen with Kreese and with Johnny,
Yeah.
um, or if they're just gonna just kind of like just give you a quick heartfelt conversation where in a
Mm-hmm.
couple sentences he tells somebody that like,
Yeah.
look, I was abused as a kid, and my dad used to like my dad used to punch me in the asshole with a spiked
Oh
bracelet,
my God.
whenever I was bad or even when I was good. He'll get into like a story,
Yeah.
and they might just do it that way without any, necessarily going into flashbacks. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's interesting what they're going to do. The rumor is, and we'll talk about this in our upcoming video on script leaks. And seriously, I'm being serious now. We do have a bit of a supposed script leak from one of our subscribers, and we're going to make a video
Right.
talking about what could be coming up in Cobra Kai season 5. It's a rumor, a prediction, and a script leak. So we'll talk about that there. But from what we're understanding so far, it sounds like Mike Barnes won't necessarily be a villain in Cobra Kai season 5.
Oh.
Do you think that's the right way to handle him, by the way?
Wow. Well, it'd be a major leap. I don't think anybody really is going to be expecting that. He's so I don't know. We know him as a bad boy, as karate's bad boy. So it'll be interesting.
Well, check it out, though. We'll talk more about this in that video, but let me just say this.
Yeah.
Daniel has now teamed up with Johnny, his first enemy,
Right.
and chosen his second enemy.
Oh my God.
So doesn't it kind of seem like the big joke here the creators are going for is that he's going to take down Kreese
Yeah.
and Silver by ultimately teaming up with all three
The
guys that he
third
beat in, right?
Oh my Lord. Yes. Oh, I love it.
That seems about right. And then you throw Julie Pierce into the mix.
Yeah.
So then you have to wonder about what kind of psychology of Mike Barnes would bring him to teaming up with Daniel.
Yeah. What turned him around?
Well, because I would think, this is the way I think, right? And maybe the creators don't care about this, but to me, even though it's been 35 years,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Barnes is stewing like all hell about the fact that Daniel got the win,
Mm-hmm.
even though clearly Daniel's not the better fighter. I mean, Mike
right.
Barnes was overwhelmingly the better fighter. That's what made
Oh,
Karate Kid 3 different.
Mm-hmm.
In the first film, you could really chalk it up to, yeah, Johnny's more ferocious, but Daniel won fair and square.
Yeah.
Daniel was essentially the better fighter by a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With Chosen, we don't really know. That fight scene was all really cut up in the movie.
Uh-huh.
It was like Daniel was really losing, and then all of a sudden they just framed it where he was winning. I
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot on the cutting room floor. But okay, he won fair and square there too. This one was different. Karate Kid Part 3, it was hard to leave the theater feeling good for Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
because every one of us is like, well, I mean, Daniel got his ass handed to him. He basically only won because they came up with a goofy strategy.
Yeah.
He didn't really win. So
Yeah.
so I'm thinking Mike Barnes stews over that. Maybe he doesn't care by the time he's 20 years old, I guess.
To
But
the extent that Johnny did.
yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. It could go either way, but I'm just saying it would make sense either way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to Johnny. It like ruined his life. Johnny lost all his friends. Johnny couldn't get his girlfriend back.
Yeah.
Johnny was supposed to make that year the year that I'm not a degenerate anymore. I'm gonna,
Right.
what did he say again? What's Johnny's big thing?
Ex-degenerate.
Ex-degenerate. I'm gonna make it all work. That's it. I'm gonna make it all work. They should give that line to Mike Barnes in Cobra Kai season 5.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 5 should have Mike Barnes actually saying, I got 1 year now to make it all work. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it all work. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't know, guys. Look, let us know what you guys think. Okay,
Yeah,
we've
I
already
like
gotten
that.
some great comments from you guys.
Yeah.
A lot of your comments are going to be turned into future videos. So keep the comments coming, please, because so many of you guys, and some of you, I can't pronounce your names because
Sorry.
I'm not sure how to pronounce this shit. I don't want to butcher them, but I really dig the comments coming in, guys. I love that we're talking so much about Cobra Kai, and I'm really looking forward to more growth for the channel before Cobra Kai season 5. So thanks for everything, you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks. Bye.